puppy. Hold on, I have to show everybody how cute you are right now, honey. Why are you right here right now? You want to hold my hand through today's video? Sweet boy. Hey guys, it's Jasmin and Puppy. Today we are continuing on this shedding subject and cat fur or hair, and I'm going to tell you what I do in order to clean floors and carpets around the house, especially during this crazy spring shedding season. You also know it's shedding season when you always seem to have fur in your lip gloss. And you may end up asking yourself daily why you choose to wear so much black and in clingy materials when you have two very white, fluffy cats. Apparently, I'm just some kind of masochist, I guess. By the way, if you do happen to be new here, welcome. We put out a video every Catter Day and usually sprinkled in throughout the week, especially now when there is an impromptu series called Kitties in Quarantine that features Puppy and Alfred, who are my two cats who look incredibly similar, even though they are not at all related. In addition to these cat stuff, cat-centric videos, which oftentimes are about tips and tidbits like today, as well as a whole lot about feline nutrition and especially raw cat food, which you can learn way more about that at catladyfitness.com. I also put out stuff for us actual humans, including stress management tips, workouts, recipes, fragrance review videos, which I do have to bring back, and honestly, whatever else I feel like posting. So if all of that sounds interesting to you or up your alley, then please feel free to join us by clicking on that subscribe button below here on YouTube, as well as the little bell icon that's right next to it, because that way you can get notified whenever new videos go up. And if you're watching this on Facebook, make sure to like and follow our page, Cat Lady Fitness, because I do put out all the same videos mostly over there, and usually some fun posts or pictures that of course involve Puppy and Alfred. So let's get right into it. The first thing I do and the first thing I suggest doing before you're going to get all into cleaning the fur and hair off of your floors and carpets of your house is to actually brush your cats. And if you have access to, and if it's possible, you might want to brush them outside. I usually do on our little catio. But in the absolute least, try and do it on a hardwood floor, because that will be the easiest way to actually clean it up versus carpet or somewhere with maybe a lot of blankets around. You'll just end up losing any free-flying hairs in those areas. So step one is to give your cat a good brushing beforehand. Now, in my house that I'm currently living, it's mostly carpets and then hard floors, hardwood floor in the bathroom. There's some in the entryway with some tile, and then the kitchen is a hard floor. And after brushing the boys, the first thing that I do is actually go around, and I have two air purifiers in my house. I have a very, very big one by Germ Guardian in the main part living room of my house, and then in my office I have a smaller, very cute one. I actually plan on bringing these up in a future video that I'm going to do about cats and allergies, because that's initially why I got these. But I noticed very, very quickly the difference that they made just in the dander and dust around the house every week when I would clean. I do keep them on low all the time, but when I clean, the first thing I do is set them all the way up to their highest power. I bought these myself. I did a bunch of research, spent my own money, and got these off Amazon at the same time back when I did like a year and a half ago. And I could totally talk more about these in a separate video. Like I said, when I do the cats and allergens video, I'm sure I'll mention them there. In the meantime, if you want to check them out or anything that I talk about in this video, I'm going to leave links to everything in the description below. So the next thing I do is grab a paper towel or microfiber towel, and my preference is to wipe down all kinds of higher up surfaces. So everything from shelves to decor, to my desk, to my nightstand, literally any hard surface higher up, I'll wipe down before I get to the floor, because I feel like this is a definite kind of like, I don't know if it's 50-50. Let me know in the comments below what your preference is, but I like to wipe the higher up stuff first because in my mind, whatever doesn't cling on to this damp towel or damp rag, then it falls to the ground, which is what you're going to end up vacuuming or cleaning up afterwards. But some people feel like vacuuming blows everything up in the air and up higher anyway, and so they like to clean the upper shelves and things after vacuuming, which is interesting because I also kind of believe that, and we're going to get into that. Anyway, I am curious to what most of you do. So after I do this, I'll take any blankets or towels or anything that I use to cover up furniture, and I'll take them outside and shake them out really, really well. And in addition to that, I may also throw them in the dryer just on a no heat fluff cycle, or I'll opt to sanitize them through a steam fresh cycle, which I'm going to speak about in what I think is the last video of the series, which is about sanitization. Or something else I might do if the weather's really nice and it's sunny outside and the pollen count is not high, is I'll also hang these blankets and towels and whatever else on a clothesline outside as I'm cleaning the inside of the house. So from here, I typically clean the carpet area of my house first. And all of this I try to do once a week. Maybe it ends up being once every 7 to 10 days, but that is the longest I can go, especially this springtime of year when the cats are shedding so much. So I'll gather up any cat toys or scratch pads or anything off the ground as much as possible to get the most space to work with in terms of cleaning and vacuuming up. And I have a pretty basic vacuum. I don't know what brand it is, but you'll see because I'll be showing it on the screen. It's definitely not this bougie Dyson that's like $400 that I've heard so many good things about, especially in terms of people with pets and people with pets who shed. So that's kind of on my wish list. So then from there, I just vacuum. I vacuum the entire carpeted area, but not just one time through. I go all kinds of different directions, back and forth multiple times, because you're not going to get the kind of clingy cat hair just from lazily going back and forth. And I also make sure to use the detachable hose, and I'll stick the attachment onto it with the narrow end, and I'll get all of the corners where the wall and the carpet meet, because that will be where most of the cat fur or pet hair or whatever accumulates. And this is where you can use the tip that I showed you from last week's video about the rubber glove. You can just use your rubber glove and run it in short little strokes on the corners of the room where the carpet and the wall meet. You can even use it on the carpet after you vacuum just to see how much hair perhaps your vacuum didn't even pick up. And that's basically the 7 to 10 day routine I do when it comes to the carpets in the house. But I also have another tip and strong suggestion, especially if you own pets, whether they be cats or dogs. But that is to deep clean or shampoo or steam your carpets at least 2 to 4 times a year. Twice a year, I take Puppy to the vet because ideally adult cats to senior cats should be taken to the vet twice a year for their physical and for some blood work. And these 2 times a year, when I go to do that, it's also when I remember to schedule a deep cleaning or a steam cleaning of the carpets in the house. Not only is that an easy way to keep track and remember, because even if you forget to put things in your calendar, I know that my vet's office is really good at calling and reminding me when we are due for a visit. But usually when you get this done, your carpet's kind of wet and it's a better idea to be out of the house for a little bit. So it's pretty much a win-win situation. It's not that expensive and it's really good to do, not only for the overall cleanliness, but especially if you have a type of carpet where you can't really see too much happening on it. The color might be mixed. And let's be honest, sometimes a cat may go poop in their litter box and come out and not fully clean their nether region. And what do? They might, go sit on the carpet. And you may not see these things, but I'll use Alfred, bless his heart, as an example. He's not the best at cleaning himself, I noticed. Puppy is like OCD. Puppy is meticulous. Alfred, I feel like I use bless his heart with him a lot because I love him, but bless his heart. Basically, I think you get the gist. It's a really good idea, both sanitation-wise and just for, peace of mind, to do a good deep steam clean on your carpet a good 2 times a year. And when it comes to the vacuum, a really important tip I have, and something that I do, is I make sure to clean it out after every time I finish cleaning. Not only is it equally satisfying to see everything you've cleaned up, especially the amount of cat hair, but also horrifying. But this also ensures that nothing is just sitting in your vacuum, even like dust mites or other things you don't know that could potentially like sneak on out of there if you don't clean it out. Plus, it does maintain the longevity of your machine. I feel like my sun sign is coming off very obvious in this video. If you want to guess what that is, please do so below. All right, so let's move on to how I clean fur off of hard floors, and this includes wood. It can include laminate, tile, cement. The first thing you want to do in the area, if you just didn't do it your whole house in the first get-go, but that's to wipe everything down from top to bottom when it comes to shelves and things using a wet paper towel or a microfiber towel, and then clear out the space. You remove any chairs, any mats that might be on the ground if it's your kitchen, for example. And the difference here, and this is what I was talking about before, there's 2 things you really don't want to do right off the bat on a hard floor, especially somewhere like your kitchen. That is to just straight up vacuum, or I would even say to avoid using a regular old bristle broom. The vacuum especially will blow any fur or hair up from the hardwood floor, and typically vacuums are so big and bulky they can't really get deep into the corners. At least mine can't, because I don't have that bougie Dyson yet. So you'll basically just be causing all of this dust and particles from the ground and fur to fly. Instead, what I like to do is use my handheld vacuum, a totally separate thing. And this is a maintenance step that I'll do. I do this every night after I clean out the kitty litters. I'll take my handheld vacuum, pick up any kind of little litter bits, and then also kind of zhuzh it into the corners of the areas that I'm in to get any potential pet hair. But you can also use your main vacuum's hose attachment as well. Just make sure that you're facing the part of the vacuum that blows air out. Make sure you're facing that kind of away from corners and walls and places where the hair's likely gathered. My second favorite thing that I like to use, and this I'll use probably 3 times a week, is these dry Swiffer pads that are made specifically for pet hair and for pet hair to cling to them. These work really, really great. And I will say, I don't like how they have this whole odor control. I think it's a Febreze feature. You guys know how I feel about unnecessary fragrances and how they can potentially affect your pets. But it's all so far that I've been able to find when it comes to this. It doesn't smell bad. It actually smells pretty good. I'm just kind of cautious about the fragrances and our little feline fur baby's paws, kind of collecting that. Maybe they, clean themselves with it, ingest it. But it's such a small area in my house that they don't really step through, especially when I'm cleaning, especially Alfred, because he's so terrified of any vacuum sounds that he will not go near that area for at least a couple hours. But these things are definitely great. And a little hack, if you don't have access to these or can't find them, or really don't want to use like a fragrance thing on your floor for the safety of your fur babies, take a damp microfiber cloth or 2 and attach it with some clips around your regular old broom and use that kind of as a makeshift Swiffer. It's actually pretty effective. This other thing I want to mention, I don't know what the official name of it is. I call it a hokey. Maybe that is what it's called, but I was introduced to this years and years and years ago when I was a teenager and working as a hostess at a restaurant. And this is what we would use on the super low profile, barely there hard carpet of the restaurant floor in order to kind of clean up around tables and everything. I think it works a little bit better for things like maybe forgotten kitty treats that may be like under something, or little pieces of kitty litter. But it also does pick up a little bit of hair. Again, it doesn't really get deep into those corners, which tends to be the areas where fur or hair accumulate. But I figured it was worth mentioning because it is a pretty cool little device that's just very satisfying to use. If you liked this video or found it interesting or helpful, then please do me a favor and click that thumbs up below, because that helps me know the content that you like to see, and it also helps this video get into the suggested feed of people who are looking for cat stuff on YouTube. And can't leave you guys without the meow out of the week, which goes to 2 people again this week, and those 2 people are Misu Widow and William Pennington. Thank you guys so much for commenting on last week's video about what I do to clean furniture and things when it comes to cat fur. I appreciate you and your engagement so much. I always read all of the comments. Puppy and Alfred, of course, send their slowest links and appreciation as well. And for anybody who would potentially like to be the meow out of the week in next week's video, all you have to do is like this video and then leave me a comment below telling me your favorite part about it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!